Every entrepreneur sails through predictable phases, and once you learn to recognize them, everything changes. I'm Lynette Young, and this is the Entrepreneur's Voyage. Whether you're starting, soaring, sailing, or somewhere in between, you're in the right place. Stop surviving your business. Start navigating your journey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Entrepreneur's Voyage podcast. Rachel, I'm going to butcher your last name, so I'm going to ask that Rachel introduce herself.
So I'm Rachel Holweg. I started working online about 13 years ago. My dad talked me into quitting all of my career plans and, moving to Missouri and helping him with, a bunch of moving parts for an industry I knew nothing about. And so that's where, and that business is lovely. It's amazing, but it wasn't enough to pay for everything. And so for the whole family, when we're running a family business. So I started trying to figure out, okay, well, I don't want to bartend all night every night. So I need to start doing some side hustle things. And I got really good at the marketing side of things and the messaging and figuring out how to talk to people. And just our whole program and everything that I've ever done, I grew up very religious. I try to approach everything from a moral standpoint. I'm very much under promise, over deliver, and make sure that I'm doing things in the right way. And in some ways in business that cost me, but it also taught me a lot to figure out how to talk to people and how to be real and true and honest and show, we started out just selling, my first couple of side hustles ideas were, beauty products, which I don't have a lot of dogs in that race, but I could show okay, well, this is how this works. And I could I'm very good at getting into the mind of the customer and saying, well, what would I have to see in order to purchase? Or in order to talk to somebody or open those conversations. So my degree is in clinical psychology, and maybe that helps just kind of understanding kind of the human brain and, what those pieces look like. But eventually it evolved and we started helping people write content and, move products on their other websites. And I've had my guys that still work for me do side jobs, or they'd run ads for somebody. And they'd be like, Rachel, I don't know what to do with this content. This person's trying to sell this and I don't know where to go. And they'd call and we would have that conversation. I'd write content, we'd crank it out, and then I'd be getting thank you emails and texts, and we're like, okay, we're on to something. And so we've been doing that.
So what's the name of your business specifically?
Simple Fast Funnels is where we're now helping other people generate leads, build websites, whatever the tech looks like. So all of the skills that we had to learn to get our family business up and running. And then, moving forward, all the different companies that my staff has started, that I've started, that we've all collaborated on. We've done tons and tons of them now, but we've taken a lot of businesses from, 0 to $1 million plus a year. Just that kind of startup industry phase, or that lead gen phase, is kind of where we're good at saying, okay, this makes sense. This doesn't. And I've got a problem where if it's in the brain, it's out the face hole. I have I'm just very I'll have clients come be like, oh, well, I want to sell this. I'm like, that's a horrible plan.
There's no buffer between your brain and your mouth. That's awesome.
No, I'm like, baby, you need a job. This isn't going to work. I would love to be able to tell you I could sell whatever you want on Facebook, but that's not going to happen. It's not, so yeah. Okay. Sorry.
But that candid honesty mixed with the fact that your skill set and your business actually evolved in the truest sense of an entrepreneur, which is you had a pain point in a business and you solved the pain point in your business, and then you offered that solution to everybody else. So you've been in business, 13 years you said now?
Yes. Now, Simple Fast Funnels has not been. So this is something newer where I said, okay, all of the other businesses are kind of on autopilot. They're running smooth, making money. I can retire, or my brain it needs something.
You're too young to retire.
Financially, it's not that. It's I need my brain has to tingle, and this stuff, helping other people do what I used to do. I'm I love this. I'm okay, I got you all day. Let's go.
That's amazing. So so we did talk a little bit before the show started, and all of a sudden I realized that we are very close to the same industry, which is kind of crazy. So what I wanted to talk about is that I saw that your business, your funnel business is really soaring right now. So for anybody watching that hasn't really figured out what the 7 C's are at, soaring is the phase of a business, a C that it could live in, where things are going really, really well and sometimes really, really fast. And people think they always that's where I want to go. That's the goal, right? And it's not always, because sometimes your business is going 90 miles an hour and you can only go 55. And that thing is just going to keep coming out in front of you. And honestly, this is where I find a lot of business, once they get past the starting phase, like of actually getting their business up and running, soaring is where a lot of people fall down because they just can't keep up. So it seems, Rachel, that you have found a niche inside of a niche. And this is where I think that we definitely overlap. So why don't you talk about how you found a specific type of client that you're going after and like what that ride has looked like so far and how you helped them?
So we actually just recently, because we've done leads for all kinds of companies, but with, the economic situations and stuff, we were really trying to analyze, okay, not just who can we help the most, but also who's going to need leads ongoing. So we didn't want to just necessarily fill somebody's calendar and then have them move along and leave us and say, well, I have all the clients that I need, goodbye, because I have my staff to protect too. And one of the hardest things when you're hitting those levels of business is finding people that are good at their job and being able to continue to support them and keep them on staff. And no matter what industry you're in, like, it's hard to find good people. And when you have them, if you let them go, you can get not great. So what we, after all of our data analysis and ads that we had run previously, leads we had done with SEO, Facebook ads, we love roofers because they need this. You have to have constant leads. And we know you guys are out there pounding pavement. I see billboards everywhere for
Those
roofers.
door knockers, gotta love them.
Oh, well, and as a homeowner, like, I mean, even if it's effective as a homeowner, you're like, I'm having dinner, God damn it. Must we right now? Like, maybe later, like,
Yeah.
leave a card. And so it's just, so what we figured out is a way to take the cool marketing stuff that we have learned from a bunch of different industries over the years and pivot to where instead of roofers having to go and cold call and do all the crap they normally have to do, homeowners think it's their idea. They want to talk to you. We're talking about the maintenance, the things that, okay, do you know what happens if you leave a bunch of leaves in your gutter? Have you been up on your roof this fall to see what is in your gutters and know what's going to happen if that backs up into the water? So we do a really cool trust building ecosystem for roofers to ensure that they get only the people in their local area, only the people that are homeowners. Our ads have always been really great, especially since Meta and Andromeda have come out and really eliminate a lot of the targeting ability. You can't say, okay, I want like a white lady who's 40 plus, her husband makes $300,000 a year and she has 3.5 children to support.
And she has a bad knee, so she can't get on the roof. Yeah.
Exactly. Like we used to be out on Facebook. I mean, like we used to be able to do that. It was great, but now you can't. So we've had to use our advertising and our messaging and really kind of, pivot, adapt, and overcome. But for roofers, we already know our cost per lead. Things are really solid. So we're like, okay, we want to not exclusively, like we love to help anybody that needs help. But in the roofing industry, our work can be exponentialized when we're working with a specific category of person, and our messaging is very unique. So everyone likes to say the water's red, the water's blue. If there's, like roofers are getting hammered, okay, let me run your ads. Let me do this. And they're like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this today, Rachel. I don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, but that's the thing. So when we advertise, it's different. Like when I get people on my call list, they're like, you're just different. Like whatever you're doing isn't the same. It just felt different, but it feels different to the homeowners too, just because we do things that like the way that we do our messaging. I don't know if it's my little broken brain, but we don't have a problem ever getting leads. And now we know where we're like pairing up with the industry that we feel we can serve well.
So I love that. So that's one of the reasons why I definitely see you in the soaring seas, right? Because you're working on leverage right now. It's like if you can focus on serving one particular genre of clients, and in this case, it's roofers, which before I invited Rachel on the show, I had no idea. So like now I'm super jazzed right now. I'm super jazzed.
We learned this like 8 minutes ago. We're like, oh
my gosh. Neither of us are at RoofCon right now, which we kind of wish we were.
I know, right?
That if, the work that you do can then, you've got, and if you don't understand what's happening behind the curtain, and I'm exposing this to anybody, like, I'm sorry, but this is the truth, right? So, you can do 90% of the work is going to be the same for a lot of people, but it's, targeting on your messaging, the type of roofs you do, the type of client you target, like all of these other variables may be the 10%, and I'm making up numbers, obviously, so that you can really leverage. And it's not you're doing 90% for this industry and for that industry and for the third, and you're like doing all this work and there's no ability to reuse. So, but you've hit your sweet spot with roofers that not only can you do that, but I am extrapolating that like when you find a better way to do the 90%, it benefits all of your clients at the same time.
Exactly. And that's why it's like our pricing is better for roofers than any other industry. And we do this much like we kind of know what the average is that roofers spend on marketing, and we're substantially less than that because when our entire team is working on the same goal and we can say, okay, we're going to write an article, but we can use that article like one in every state, then all of a sudden, instead of having, 2 or 3 articles written a day, we've got 150, 200 from one person that's writing and doing the work because then we spin it, we exponentialize what we're doing, but it's still focused on the community for that one person because we're running ads in one tiny ecosystem. I live in Cape Fear, Missouri. So I'm like, okay, people in Cape Fear, Missouri aren't going to see an ad for Boston. So it doesn't matter. It can be my face on all of the ads. It can be, the guys in my family that are willing to get on a ladder because I sure the hell am not. Like I can't, but that's the thing. People don't want to do that. So how do we explain like, okay, here's the maintenance that your roof needs. But what we do is so focused on building trust and being just honest and real and focusing on the services that are offered, exponentializing our work to reduce the cost. And we're helping homeowners and we're helping roofers and we're doing something that we feel very good about at the end of the day, but in a way that I just feel like other people want money. They want so much money up front. It's like it can be crazy with what people ask for. And I just think, ugh, I don't like that.
You built a better mousetrap. So you touched upon, yeah, Rachel, you touched upon something, you said trust, right? So building that trust with your clients. But I've also see that you've built trust with your team. So you've been at this a while. You said that you had some of your team members have been with you for a while. Your team has stuck with you for a very long time. So can you like talk a little bit about what your team evolution has looked like and that sort of thing?
So my main Meta ad runner has been with me for 13 years. Literally, he was the first employee that we ever hired. And he ended up getting into all these different trainings and becoming a Meta ad expert. And so I do his like creatives and strategy. And then when he does the implementation, he is bar none. He is phenomenal. But I think I've had 2 or 3 employees quit since I started taking over the business, and we've grown slow and steady. But when people come and work with us, we find their niche. So I think with businesses, a lot of things that people expect is to be able to, as a business owner, I'm going to be a jack of all trades. Like you said, I'm going to wear all the hats, except for nobody's good at that. Truly. Like I could do it, and I did it for a few years. But as soon as we had the opportunity to bring in people that were better at the jobs than I was, all of a sudden that started shifting things and not hiring agencies that didn't care about what we were doing or we were just another dollar sign or a number. But just to say, like, this person has this phenomenal skill. So I would pluck them out and be like, this is all you do now. So, like, Z, like, okay, Z, you're in charge of the development team. If anything goes wrong, it's your fault, and make sure everything is flawless. Like, you know how I expect. And then, but they know, like, there's this gap with some industries too, like developers, like, you give them 20 things to do, and they're like, here, we're done. And they've done 3. And you're like, excuse me? Hold on. And I've hired developers all over the world, US included, and it's just their brain works in a specific way. And then so there has to be tasks and to-do lists. And then I have, VAs in place to make sure that, okay, I'm not going to be the person looking at everything. I'm going to have somebody that's a complete data brain saying, okay, developer, here's what was done. And now you're going to do these 87 things that you didn't do that we were supposed to have done before we hand it off to the client kind of thing. But when I find those people, I refuse to let them go because I'm like, no, you're stuck with me forever, baby. Like, you're part of this team. And so now we have about 20 people, and we are like, they're just the best. Like I dream it up. I come up with the strategy, and then they figure out ways to make it happen. And then if the audience isn't clicking right, my data brain, like my 1s and 0 brain, just clicks in. And I'm like, okay, well, what stage did we lose them? Okay, we ran an ad. They only watched 45 seconds of it. What were we looking at between that 30 and 45 second mark that started the audience to fall off? How do we fix this? And then we pivot. We make a new video. And so as a team, we function so well, and we're just kind of optimizing the process for it's simple. We're generating leads, but I know for some people it's not simple. But for us, like the website creation and the leads and the tech and that side
it's institutional knowledge for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, if you can get somebody to get up on a roof and replace shingles, like, I'll get you the people. That's fine. That part's easy.
Exactly. So normally when I talk to business owners, I would ask, the juggle between the owner and the operator piece, right? So you've got your zone of genius of like the operator of like what you need to do in the creative, and that sparks you. But then you're operating the business. And usually a question that I would ask is, well, how do you maintain incoming leads to your company if you're busy working in the company, but you're just like a self-fulfilling prophecy? Like you have your own funnels to put into your own company. So
Yeah, we do. So right now we did a couple of things. Number one, we have our own roofing funnels where I talk to roofers and I just like explain, okay, here's what we do. It's a little bit different than what you might have seen before. Let's have a conversation and talk about it. But we also, just on the side, we love to help. We know the job market's been weird. A lot of folks have lost their jobs. And so we have enough of our team that we can say, okay, like come in, and if you have a great idea, or if you have a website that's not getting traffic, like we can help. And so we're trying to do our part to help with whatever's going on in the community for people that are, either hard on their luck, or they have a great idea, or they want multiple income sources and they can't necessarily depend on their job.
that's amazing, because it's not many people, because usually the relationship between a lot of businesses stops when the widget is delivered, when the check is cashed, when the meal is eaten, sort of thing. But you're integrating yourself into your clients' actual professional lives.
Well, yeah, like we do things a little bit backwards, I guess. Like I work with a lot of heavy hitters in the online industry. I've worked with I don't know if I'm allowed to like drop names or anything. I don't want to be. I'm like I've written for like Russ Ruffino, and then I've like worked with like Lauren Petrullo, Laurel Portier, like and I love a lot of what they do. But when I say, okay, well, I'm gonna do calls and talk to every client that comes through the door personally, and here's what we're charging, they're like, that's a bad plan for your skill set. You shouldn't. And I'm like, well, but it makes my brain
Mm-hmm.
tingle. And this is
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm like, I have to have those moving parts. Like I love it. My team loves it. But then, and honestly, I lose my ass on the front end for every client. Like we're not taking on people that we don't think we can do, like have great retention for. Like our upfront pricing, I literally like, I'm paying you to do everything for you for the first few months. I only win if my clients win. And that's why I love the roofing industry. And that's why, like, even if I talk to clients on the phone, I'll be very direct and honest and just say, like, hey, this is a bad plan. And because I don't want to lose my ass and then also have them lose their ass. That, like, then everybody's
Yes.
losing.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if I can tell, like, and sometimes I'm not saying like I have this perfect barometer, because sometimes I could be wrong, like 100%. Like I'm not, nobody's perfect. And I'll be like, well, maybe I'm the wrong person to
Yeah.
market this. But if I know I'm the right person, I will tell them that as well. And I just try to be brutally honest about, okay, here's what we should do moving forward, and then, take steps, or don't. Like any of
Mhm.
that's okay. We're trying to find people we can serve well that want to stay with us, like, ideally forever. Like if we're good at our job, you won't want to leave. Like you'll be stuck with us, like voluntarily stuck.
So some of the other industries that you service, why would they not want reoccurring leads? Like, I don't understand that as a business owner. Like, why wouldn't you just want people walking in your front door metaphorically all the time?
So there's a few things. So like let's take like a salon or a cleaning agency. So like there's different like businesses that once you get people that are coming back, so like a salon, for example, they can only service so many clients. And once you know, okay, this is the best person I've ever found, like girls are very much into, okay, nope, I've got my hair girl, I am done. And then her schedule's full. So then all of a sudden, it's not that the ads weren't beautiful, it's not that everything didn't work, but her client base is full. And then she's like, okay, well, I don't want to keep paying for the
She doesn't
ongoing
need new
ads.
butts and seats. So she's not okay. So the reoccurring happens within her own business structure, not
Correct.
because she needs new. Okay, I got it.
Exactly. So that's what we're like with a roof, then that's a different conversation. So for the ongoing maintenance stuff, we know that you're going to have, and our goal with the roofers is to have enough business to get through the slow season with the maintenance, to keep everybody busy, all the guys that are normally employed to have their regular jobs. And maybe it's not applying a new roof. Maybe it's, recalking things. Maybe it's cleaning gutters. Maybe it's, whatever needs to happen to make sure, like in the off season, you're still the trusted brand that people are coming to, and your number is saved in their damn phone. But then anytime there is a new roof to be had, we want it to be yours. Because in the roofing industry, there's always that rotation where you have to have those big jobs over and over. It's not like I need my hair
Yeah,
done
I
every 3
need a new
weeks.
roof every
It's
20 years. It's not really going to happen.
exactly. So you have to be the face in the exactly. You have to be the face in the community. So there's a lot of industries like even like the cleaning houses. Like if you've got a certain amount of staff, once that staff is full, if you're not wanting to scale, you're not wanting to grow, then clients will drop us. And so we've had a bunch of accounts that have gone so well, and we're like, "What do you mean you're canceling?" Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Like you can't keep paying if
Yeah.
if you've got, and like in some industries they feel, and a lot of them they'll come back and forth, but for us as a business, we want people that just need it forever and ongoing. So that's why specifically just logistically behind the curtain, why we're like, well, this makes a lot more sense because we've run the ads, we know it works, and then we're not losing people because we did so well, we fired ourselves.
Yes. Yes. That is kind of the worst thing, right? You've done such a great job, but we don't need you anymore. I'll be
Right.
honest, even sometimes I'll say with my coaching clients, and they're like, what is your goal in it? I was like, my goal is for you not to need me anymore.
But then you still need a new person to come in and you need a new butt in the seat. Like our goal is to have like no water coming in through roofs or whatever the case may be. But then you have to have a new person to make sure that like we want our clients to have enough people coming to them to where they're not in a need in having
Yes,
that
agree.
need. But we know
Agreed. So one of the things, kind of before we were setting this up, a turning point sort of for you that I'm seeing is you had mentioned that you feel that you're becoming recession resistant. Can you explain that to me a little bit as a business owner? How do you see yourself as strengthening yourself up against the dips in the future?
that's one of the reasons again that we love roofers, because everyone needs a roof over their head forever. It doesn't matter what the economy does, what our political views look like. No, like it doesn't matter like all the great and good or whatever could possibly happen. Like I don't have a dog in any of those races, but I know no matter what happens, homes like all of the trades are going to be essential. And so that's why we're focused on that, because we know if we're providing business to them, then they're also surviving more efficiently than everyone already has a go-to guy that they know, that they trust. Because if there's a hole in your roof, most people aren't going to get up there and fix it. And so we looked at a bunch of different trades, and just for our skill set, it just fits so perfectly and with what's going on with the economy. And I'm always happy to help anyone. Like I will have people take repeat calls from me, and I will spend my time, energy, dollars, whatever it is, like to think tank with somebody that needs me. I just know that this specific industry it's good for them, it's good for us, it's good for homeowners, it's good for communities, just to know that if there's one problem that we could solve, the homeowner knows who they can trust, and we make sure that the roofer that they can trust is staying in business because they've got enough people that trust them.
You had mentioned before to me that you have multiple businesses, but this is the one that you're living in. I loved your phrase. It makes my brain tingle, right? I had to borrow that from you for sure. That the other businesses are still up and running and rocking and rolling because you choose to spend your operator time in this business because it lights you up right now. So how does that juggle look right now? Do you have other folks running, steering the ship in the others? How often do you have to dip in and out? Because you are a multifaceted entrepreneur.
We've moved building supplies, and with the tariffs and things going on right now, that one's on pause, but our ads for that were phenomenal, like through the roof. We're like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then with tariffs, we're like, okay, we're gonna push pause on that for a second. But like the main family business is in the digestive health industry. So my dad is this phenomenal, brilliant health researcher, and he had an ebook that helped with all kinds of digestive disorders. So we worked with like diverticulitis, colitis, Crohn's, IBD, IBS. And when I came on board, he had the ebook for that. And then we finished out like a bunch of recipe collections, hundreds and hundreds of recipes. I analyzed tens of thousands of food diaries. We did all of like the R&D behind that. And then we developed a digestive relief tea, some probiotics. Now we've manufactured gummies. And then my partner has a manufacturing facility for labels for UPS and FedEx for shipping. So we have a giant warehouse with all of that stuff. So all of those things now, we have great staff that we love and adore. And for the most part, if there's a problem, they'll tell me. Or when we say, okay, we've only got 4 months left of the tea. I need you to go figure out, like, let's start the next manufacturing process and fire up the whatever to like get the next run. But for the most part, all of that stuff, our ads have been in place for a very, very long time. So if I have a new idea, I might go film a few videos for it, or if the SEO team has a few questions, I'll answer them. But and some of the team that works with us now still does that part-time, but it's so automated that it's like
Mhm.
that's the cool part about it. Once you get something up and running and stable, it can just you can you can exit, sell it, you can make it a just a great way to help people. Again, it's like it's all stuff that helps people. Like the supplies are cheap, or the we're doing things that doctors don't normally do. So just some of this stuff is but yeah, ultimately get good staff, hire people that are better at things than you, and let them do their job and
So
leave them
those
alone,
companies
and then that
existed
can go really
before
great.
the funnels company, right? So those were evened out and you had good staff. And I'm sure that if you had to do any, the turnover, things like that, you've got solid people in there. But then the funnels company helps feed all of the rest of your companies, and you've got this whole interlocking system, which is just amazing.
Yeah, we kind of learned all of the skills on the first couple of companies, to where we had to, adapt, overcome, pivot, figuring out like, okay, well, nobody likes if you do anything that, Facebook and Google are very particular about the words that you say, especially in a health industry. So we had to get very good at like our marketing content. So we weren't in policy violation of anything. So we had to learn way more about stuff than I wanted to at the time. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. Like Google changes their mind in 1 second and our whole world goes down for 3 months. We're, oh my gosh, like, and then, Amazon changes an algorithm and all of a sudden, and so, we have Amazon stores. We're running ads everywhere.
Can you run
But
ads in
ultimately,
Amazon?
yes,
I
yeah,
had no idea.
absolutely.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Amazon has a whole a whole advertising back end to where you can start to launch products. And I will say on Amazon, I mean, this is gonna sound so bad. They're like a necessary evil. So we do a lot of volume on Amazon between my partner and I. Like I don't like I mean, like I say a lot, like well over $1 million a year between the two of us. Just but low dollar ads, but they say they take 20%, but at the end of the day, if they cut a box open and they damage everything in the box when they cut it open, that's on you. Every return is on you. They have storage fees, processing fees. Now they just
Oh,
invented
jeez.
placement fees. So um but the nice thing is you're not paying for like you can start to get sales organically on their platform without paying for ads. If you do ads, it's very cool and it can accelerate things, but you have to just be very cognizant of the money that actually hits the account versus the money that is
Yeah.
sold. It's just something that we're very cognizant and careful of, because they say one thing, but then there's been times where we're like, how are we selling so much on Amazon and the bank account's going backwards? Like, what is happening here? And so we would, and then that's okay. You just, you recalibrate, you increase your pricing, you figure it out. And that's just one of those adapt and overcome pivot, situations. But, in an e-com world, if you have products, you almost can't ignore Amazon just because it's the
Yes, I've
juggernaut in the
had
room,
many
right? Like they're
conversations with friends of mine that have, products that they've made. Like, so it's not a high volume manufacturing type thing, or even crafty type things. And they have, so it's the Etsy dilemma, right? It's like, I don't want to sell on Etsy. I want to have a Shopify. And I'm like, but then you have to drive the traffic. If you sell on Etsy, yes, we hate them. They're big and evil now, whatever their opinions are, or Amazon, you make less money, but you get more eyeballs. Or do you want to spend the money to drive people to your site? Like, so there's this back and forth that you kind of have to look at. And when you're a starting company, it might be advantageous to start getting some reoccurring customers that way and then push them over to your site and buy direct and those sorts of things. Okay.
We've always done both. So Amazon does not like so you can't like, okay, so on a package, like even if you buy like a bottle of cranberry juice, it's going to say go to oceanspray.com. But the Amazon, ideally on their packaging, you're out of policy to have your own website or contact information, even on the product. You're not supposed to put like a card in there. And people do, but they're risking their entire income in store from Amazon when they do it, because Amazon will spot check. And if they find that,
Bonkers.
then big trouble. And they do this other fun thing. And this is, I've had this happen on multiple listings on mine and my partner's store, where I have, so like we had a book for Crohn's. And then one day we looked at our Crohn's book listing and it was a gal in a white dress and it was selling a dress. And I was like, what in the seven hells has happened? And so what they do is there's this thing called a buy box. And somebody can say they have the same product as you. So in this case, somebody had bought our Crohn's book, said that they had it, and for whatever reason, and I don't know exactly what the algorithm on Amazon does specifically, because I'm more of a Facebook, Google, like when it comes to the algorithms, that's where I spend my time and that's what I learn. But somebody had gotten the Crohn's buy box. And if that happens, they can change everything in your listing that you provided, that you wrote
It's
to
like a hostile
whatever they
takeover.
want. Was insane. I was like, what's happening?
I've
And,
done
like-
that. I've clicked
like,
on items and then I get there and it's like, did I click on something else? I probably had that happen once or twice.
The fun thing is about that, like if you're a buyer on Amazon, the customer service is bar none. They're amazing. But if you're a seller, you're kind of like bottom of the rung. You're dealing with somebody in Bangladesh who speaks 4 words of English and they're going to tell you to get bent. So and we've always been able to kind of fix things over time or just take the listing down completely and start over if there's not a lot of reviews on it. But it's a lot all the time. But I will say, like in e-com world, if you have a product to sell, I always say you can use Shopify or but I whatever e-com source you're using, and then Amazon in addition to. So we use Simple Fast Funnels is actually like we white label Go High Level software if we're going to do a website build for somebody. It's that
Yeah, I love
like
Go High
their
Level.
stuff is awesome and their e-com really just started getting off the ground. It's not quite where Shopify is yet, but for the price, they don't have all of the one-click upsells, but if you're selling like a standard product or something like that, I've worked with people like our team will build, when we build the sites for free for people, we do like a 7-page site. So we won't build like a giant e-com like 6-month build or like something crazy, but we do so we already have my tea like digestive health store already created in Go High Level, and we've just been waiting on the software to get like caught up to where Shopify is. And they're darn close now. So if I was going to build on one side or the other, I would say go with the Go High Level, or like even like if somebody wants us to do it, like we can do that. But the thing is, they're so close, and for the price and the features that are included on Shopify, the problem that we always had was tracking. So then your ad platforms, your email, your SMS, all of your unified messaging CRM stuff, you're zapping in all of these different moving parts, and then your tracking's garbage. And on Go High Level, if you can do it all under one roof, it's flawless.
And because you've already
nice
been through this, you've been through this with the tea company, you've been through it with everything. Like all of those lessons learned are immediate lifts for your clients.
We stay in these networks with the people that I've worked with for years, and we are constantly training and stuff so that our clients don't have to. So if there's a new something to be had, we're like, we'll figure it out. Like that's our job, not yours. Like you go do your job, like leave us to the rest of it. And yeah. And we've been screwed by, a lot of people just saying like, okay, I don't want to run my own ads anymore on this company so I can focus on that one. And we'll hire somebody and they'll just throw everything right and immediately into this shitter. And I'm like, just kidding. I'll take back over. Thank you.
So Rachel, you had mentioned to me before this that you were a reluctant entrepreneur in the beginning when your dad kind of drug you kicking and screaming into your company. What would you say to that Rachel right now?
Oh, I would tell her to shut the fuck up and just figure it out. I look at it and I'm like, I love, it was so hard for so many years. But if you're like faint of heart,
you have to be able to take it on the chin for sure.
Farm. I milked a cow every day by hand, twice
for
a day
real?
for my whole childhood. Yes, for
An
real.
actual
An
cow.
actual, he bought a cow because he thought we needed character building chores is what he called it. We had a milking parlor on a 200-acre farm, a half-acre garden. I was pulling weeds till my fingers would bleed. I started playing sports so I wouldn't have to come home and do whatever my dad wanted me to do. He worked our asses off. But the cool part if you have a work ethic and you're willing to put that work in and you know how to do it and you have the perseverance, you can figure it out, especially if you go to the right resources. I wish I could talk to myself 13 years ago and be like, all right, baby, here's what we're going to do. We're going to skip 10 years of trauma and start here. And that, again, like simple, fast, I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do for these people. And I'm not saying, oh, pay me 10 grand for this knowledge. I'm like, I'll build the damn thing for
Mhm.
you for free. It's fine. Like, we'll do that. And then you pay
We're
us for
about the
like our ongoing, like,
relationship,
we're
not
just
the
charged
quick
for the,
hit. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And the success of the client, like it, like I wish somebody would have been there for me in the way that I want to be
I
there
love
for other
that. I love
people.
that. I will say, as a business owner, when I would have 2 options in front of me and one wants the cash up front and one is like, "Okay, I trust enough in what my results can be that we can, like, pay overtime," like, that should be a big green flag versus a red flag for people going into it. So, I mean, immediately when I saw that that's kind of how your pricing structure went, I was like, because she knows what she's doing and she knows she can get results, because if she didn't, she wouldn't get paid on the back end, she'd want it all up front.
And I think there's that was my intent, but I do think there's some people out there, like I'll see offers that are quote similar and they'll say, well, if we don't perform, then you don't pay. But if you look at like the fine print, it's like, well, you pay up front, and then if we don't do this, this, and this, but you were expected to do this by Tuesday and you didn't, so you're not going to qualify for the refund. So I don't I agree with you. I just know
Yeah.
that some people play games with that, and I would just like I want people to be like, not, I'm not saying like work with me instead of somebody else. I'm just saying like be cognizant of like it's just like a bank account that says, oh yeah, I get X% interest as long as you buy a coffee every Tuesday and sneeze on Thursday, and like
Yeah.
whatever the rules are, like does that really mean, so I think
I love that.
it's good to be
So
wise about it
what's
too,
next
but
for
yes.
you? Like, just putting more fuel on the fire and going full steam ahead, or do you have other things that you're interested in
Yeah.
doing and building?
I no, this is like the Civil Fast Funnels thing. I'm like, we're looking to, even whether we keep the other businesses or exit, we'll just kind of, we're massaging that in, but they're pretty much on autopilot. They're not a lot of time, so it's not a big concern. Our big thing is we want to help other people do what we've done. So like
Mhm.
I'm 38 to be able to say like I could retire now if I want to.
But why? What's the
So I'm
fun
like,
in that?
I right. But to be able to say that and to have that freedom, I'm like, I want other people to feel like that. I look at, my best friend just lost her job that she'd had for years, thought she was going to retire there, no notice. And I'm like, oh, and she was making crap tons of money, hitting all the KPIs, like amazing job. And then all of a
Ah,
sudden she was locked out of her computer. And she's like, what? Well, like, what happened? And they're like, well, we removed your position. And just because it's just these cutbacks and AI's coming in. And I'm like,
no.
that's not, I don't, I'm like, if we can contribute or do something to help, and then my team stays working, all of us are happy, we're just all working toward the same goal. That's our goal, is not to, um, I'm not trying to get rich off this. Like, I mean, if we make money and we're successful, then wonderful. But it's just we're playing a different game, I think, than other people are playing, and we're not trying to trick
I
anybody. We're
have to
trying to
say
be
that
helpful.
that employee thing for your friend, it hits me because I kind of have 2 sides of the coin, right? And it's like, one, it's like being an employee is dangerous. Everybody thinks, like, my mom is a boomer and she would go to work, literally punch in, punch out, go home, and literally the memory of her job was out of her brain until the next morning when she never thought about it. And to her, that was safety. I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna get not a boat, a pension, like, and that's just not, right? That's just not how it works now. And to me, being an employee is unsafe. So why would you wanna do it? But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, I own a business and I need employees. So it really drives me, and even that story of your friend is even motivating. I don't know her, like, motivating me, like, you have to be a better boss. You have to run a better business. Uh, I once heard Mike Michalowicz, who's written Profit First and Clockwork and a whole bunch of other great small entrepreneur books, is that our jobs as entrepreneurs, as business owners, is to make jobs for other people, right? And I want to make sure that, like, your team has stuck with you, like they're your ride or dies right now. But I think our jobs as entrepreneurs, maybe not big scary corporations because everybody's faceless there, in my opinion, but in businesses like the sizes that we run, like, we can actually make a difference in people's lives. And it sounds like you're absolutely doing that. Your team has been with you 10, 13 years all over. Like, that's crazy that someone would want to stay at the same company for that long.
And I've had 4 of my employees. We had a couple of times, like when Google shut our business down and we didn't have other things running. That's why I'm all for the multiple eggs in baskets, because I think like, okay, if you have a job, awesome, keep that job. start a business on the side. Like, work a little extra and have something to protect you if that job goes away. But like, there's been a couple of times where my staff, where I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, Google shut us down. Like, there's literally no money. I have no savings. I wish that I could tell you some better news. There's nothing that I can. And it was just this like, oh, like there's just devastating, horrible thing. And every one of them, like some of the guys have been with me a long time, like 4 of them were like, we don't care. We're going to work with you for free until we figure this out together. And like,
That just gave me the chills.
it was like, it meant so much. And they're like, like the people that work with me, like they care like I care. And of course, like everybody's got a family to feed. We're all businesses, you know, we have to make money too, but it meant so much when they were like, you know what, Rachel, like you've been good to us. Like, we know you've sacrificed paychecks when you needed, you know, when you could and we needed, and now you need it. And then we'll figure this out together. And I was just, like this team is, I mean, like that's one of the reasons that I'm like, I don't ever want to retire. I'm like, you guys, like, let's
Yeah,
we're in
I
this
love
together.
that.
Let's
I
do
love
this.
that. We're going to wrap up a little bit, but I want to ask if someone wanted to work with your company, who would that person be?
The business owners that I love to work with are the ones that have a product that is a legitimate product that has a proven offer. Like I don't mind starting side hustles if somebody has an idea, but ideally, if you want us to like be promoting you running ads, have something that you're selling on Amazon, on Shopify, wherever, and we can optimize the processes. We can change the advertising and push things in a completely different way where we hit home until like, I mean, everyone says like, okay, your market has the attention span of a goldfish, except for why are people watching Netflix all goddamn day? They will watch if it's entertaining enough, or if it hits their heart, or if it means something to them, or you're connecting with the right audience. That's where we change the game. So we're using the Andromeda, the algorithms to let them hit the right people, even though the targeting won't let us. So, I mean, basically anyone that has a good, honest product. Like if you're selling, you know, like I don't talk to people who are doing anything scammy. Again, our goal is to help. So like if you've got a cool product that could change lives, and the less policy restrictions, the better. Anything in the health
Please don't
industry,
come
like,
at me
I
with
love
medical
working with the health
devices.
industry. I'm like, I mean, like we have compliance partners that are awesome. Like I've got a gal that has boots on the ground at Meta, and she speaks there a few times a year. And so like if there is a thing like that, we'll put her on the account always as an insurance. We'll just pay a little extra. So she's like, okay, if the account goes down, it's your job to fix it. Like, so I mean, like we do things, but yeah, like the blue collar trade stuff is just, it's so easy to connect because it's true, it's real, it's honest. We're always on the hunt for somebody to fix something broken in our house. And nobody knows who to call. Everyone's calling a neighbor like, do you have a plumber? Do you have a roofer? Do you like my something's wrong with my lights? Who do I talk to? And everyone's trying to network in their own little communities, but what if we could just make that easier? And, you know, but I mean, if somebody has an idea that they want to get rolled out, I'm like, again, I'm like, we're kind of game for whatever.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for being on the show today. We were all over the place, and this was amazing, and we're going to talk after this for sure. So sorry to everybody listening and watching, because you're not going to get the after party. That's just for Rachel. I'm Lynette Young, and I believe a rising tide raises all boats. That's why I'm here. That's why this show exists. If this episode helped you, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube Podcasts so you don't miss what's next. Leave a review to help other entrepreneurs find us, or visit us at 7seasvoyage.com. It's 7 like the number. Thank you for joining me on the Entrepreneur's Voyage. Fair winds and following seas.